totally different. They contradict with their wish. Okay, so even though they try to make them happy, but they're using the wrong kind of method. And the second verse it goes the Dungel Tangdu Lemba. So therefore the Bodhisattva, okay, Bodhisattva, even though they embrace, they take suffering as their path, but the result will be the happiness. Okay, happy. So so that's what they call Pawo. So Pawo means, like, I think in translation is a heroism, and hero is like a strength of their mind. So because of their strength of mind, they will able to take all the suffering as their path, and they can embrace the suffering, and they turn them into favorable condition, and the result will be happy.
Oh, that is that the tiki tandu lenya te ngaranzu ine tiki tandu lenya tewat tamnya da tandu ni tewa tandu ni tinde chanja rang tewa chanja tandu ni ba insa tewa yungu ya mare ti debu tila rang tewa chanja rang tewa nyam karasan deba insa rang tewe chi tu semje soje rang tewe chi tu gyagzin she rang tewe chi tu chama je shingyab rang tewe chi tu shenla merata o tinte kyangja cheba insa ko tewa yungu ya mare ku debu tila dunga kyangja chungu ya re doya de tiki du ni shengi soje ta pi mayin bache shengi karasure shen jinzi cheni shengi so meju shen la gyagdi meji shen la kuwa meju shen la chama meji tinte cheba ina digi yungu yarwa o di insa digi dundu nyenye tila ta kuwa digi sigardi kuwa digi dundu nyenye tila ane karasure rang yewa to rang cheba sung shen yewa to se tu yungu yari di yungu zamba ane chimala dunga kyangja mishu yungu ya maris digi tandu lensi yadi.
So in Tibetan, we use diki dangdulen. Diki is like a pleasure, okay, happiness and joyful kind of sense, and dangdulen means the taking as a practice, or embracing that kind of wish to have embracing that kind of activities. So if we do that, so for as an ordinary person like us, ordinary person, we always craving to happiness. So we always try to find some kind of happiness in our life. In order to do that, then we we destroy others' happiness. So in order to achieve that kind of happiness for yourself, for instance, because of that, then we use this like harsh word to other, and we lie to other, okay, in order to have them. We cheat to other. So because actually our aim is to achieve some kind of happiness for ourselves. If you do engage into that kind of activities in order to receive some kind of benefit and some kind of happiness, but that activities, that actions causes negative karmas, okay, negative karmas that brings the bad result in the future. So even though we may have wish to have some kind of happiness, we always engage into the wrong activities, wrong method. Yeah. So for instance, I must say here it says the pleasurable of samsaric pleasure. Okay, samsaric pleasure. We should have some kind of. We always tend to achieve some kind of samsaric samsaric kind of pleasure. Samsaric pleasure is something that is the production of negative karma. So if we craving a lot of to that kind of the pleasure, then we always creating bad karmas to have that kind of pleasure, samsaric pleasure. Okay, and they need the, so yeah, so for the bodhisattvas, okay, bodhisattva, instead of thinking of themselves, so their happiness, they always cherish to other, they're always thinking about other, for other, the happiness. So even though they may have like a wrong attitude, but the result, they have like a better result, they have a good result, the positive karma.
That's it. Then Tunge Tandu Limbe Sympathies, Tunge Tandu Lena Tiji Yat Karadesina, Naranzu Jigdet in a Karasure, Kange Chimishoji, Tiji Yamare, Tiji Mary, Aranzu Tewachu Lombarete, Tewangone Yungi Yamare. Kange Janjari, Kange Teletone Machina, Kani Karaso Tewat Toya Meverba, Chesa. Tunge Tandu Limbe Sympathy, Kange Chikandich Johnson, Kange di Muji Legitive in Sambaravche. Ya Kange to tell you to some Shandale Kange in the Yukiri, some Shandali Chike. And Ya Kange to tell you to some Shanky Kange Kanga. Nedi kucho shows, Yala Kange Mijua shows, Jevina. Ani Kange Tonet in the chair into some Bashuma, Digi Mishum ever. Kange to into some by Semishum sooner, Kange ti Kange Cheru to this. Semishumna Kange said of the Yamarva. Kange to say at the country Segures and Kange to Lake Jebu in some. Lake Jebu the time means on some Sambachena. Laying a bit of the Tadria cheap. Young Malakange Chevan Nashi, Simjation, Kangish Chegi, Simjapat Mebari, to Sulangana Shigi, Be Kangetanya Pat Mebayari, to Sulet Samnotania, Shindala, Nijikia. Young Rangulo Top Chindigi, Nietig Karasugre, to Netigi. Shank Kange Tinde Kange Teba Kanga, Yeti Kuchobasho, Shala Kange Mijua shows Javina. And a sem sambush which Kesunga. Koshum Janeti Kange said to Yamaro, Tinde Jason drank a lot of the Lo Jacheruchi. And a Kangeti, Semke Kangeti, Yungu Semke Kanget Mem, Sem Sambuke. Sem Sambuke son at the Jig Debutawati. Yungirba, or the Jessa Tiki Tunge Tantu Lena and Tiki Yati.
So in the text, it says the Bodhisattva who willingly embrace suffering. Okay, so here embrace suffering. Embrace suffering means accepting your own suffering. Okay, so usually say when we have suffering, then we get depressed, and then we think, so it's destroying my peace. Also, so we are just piling up other kind of negative thoughts on what we have experienced suffering. So instead of doing that, so we need to, because of that suffering, okay, because of that suffering, we can turn that the suffering into the favorable condition, sort of like favorable condition. We can strengthen our mind because of that the suffering. So. And for the Bodhisattva, when they have suffering, okay, when they have suffering, instead of getting depressed, instead of getting like to low feeling kind of mind, they think, oh, so this is really fortunate to have that kind of suffering because it is actually the burning my bad karmas. So that becomes, so that because of that suffering, now whatever I have created, that the causes for that suffering have been like destroyed. So it's not going to give another kind of result. So they have that kind of attitude. And also, when they have suffering, they think of other because of themselves, instead of themselves. So they think like, so they look into like a wider way, like in like a broader way. So they think there are like many, the countless of the sentient beings. So they are actually going through different kinds of suffering. So I'm not alone who is experiencing that kind of suffering. So wish them to, so by having, by knowledge that you are going through this kind of suffering, then you appreciate the others' difficulties. Then you can make some prayer for them to not have that kind of suffering in the future. So then that event, actually, that's supposed to be kind of like a undesirable kind of event, but you can, with your mind training, you can turn that event into the favorable condition. Instead of making depress your mind, you can strengthen your mind by understanding the reality of what of your own suffering.
Gange chayin di zamba gange se di nga gange chaya di dibe gange di dibe ngar rangi jawa mayin ba diba chebe jebu re sha sam jebu le samta chasa ta tunge mendu na ta diba chigi mendu sam ani diba sha ya na gyawa lo ju ya to tindre kuma chige gange chayin di tindre samta na gange di karasugre tibele ki tebure shas jasa gange mendu na tiba chiki mendu tiba sagi mendu tiba kya le jugu du kya le tunya tiba shaya ki chitu karasu tiba shaya jugya o tinde sam tambe na ni gange le tonne je barba tene khol karasugre tiki yage gange ti mige de bu ba hakune ani tibachi guminto sa kewale chegu tu ra chindi chiguminto shen chindi chegu tu o tinde ki kumache ani kewale jubero tiasane tewane tewa yungurba.
And so when we have suffering, if we understand the nature of the suffering, that encourage us to practice morality and also ethical morality. Because when we have suffering, then we understand this suffering actually came from your own misdeed in the previous lifetime or previous time. So then in the future, if you wanted to be happy person, so we are not supposed to commit that kind of similar kind of causes which brings difficulties in the future. So then it restrains you from engaging into the negative actions. So then on the other hand, then if you wish to have happiness in the future, then you should create it. So through your own suffering, you understand that the causes of the happiness to create positive karma or positive actions, okay, positive seeds. So then it helps us to restrain from negative deeds because of our own experience. It encourages us to practice more morality.
Tunge tandu leyagi nyamoda tunge tandu lembe nyamlete ani kandes karisure te rimba shindu chigure hopta kala tunge tandu lembe tunge ta nyamo tandu lembe pe lotopti nyamlete kigi maris te chibala karikure sena dande di kibu chimbi lojungre Tisa Tingman to Kipu Tinta Chung Seachere. Kipu Ding Cup to Jamdo, Lede, Chua Meta, but Tenjo Yegas, Tindes Samnotayare. That Kipu Ding Cup to Ani Kuachi to me situ Ane Keganagichi to me, she senior. That Kue to me. Me tunge, Hayu tunge, Tundu tunge, Yitagu tunge, or Tinde Jene, Kibu drink cup to Kuachi tunge some weird. Or to su, want to stand and the Yamnet Cheburis. They did it to Te Seatilla Tinde Yamnet Cup Candachil Cheburis,